everybody. Welcome to Victory Talk. I am one of those, Lady J, and my girl Key. Where you at, Key? Where you at?
Hey everybody, I'm here. It's your girl Key. Happy Friday.
Yes, it is Friday. We are so excited to have you guys in the place with us. It is going to be an awesome show, but y'all know how we do. Before we get started, y'all know what to do. Come on, get your phones. We want y'all to text somebody, tweet somebody, call somebody, tell them Victory Talk is on, and we got a good show. It's going to be an informative show. And this is a show that's going to be able to be a blessing to somebody. So if you know somebody who is looking for employment or an employer that is looking for some employees, this is the show for them. So get ready, get set, let's go. We are going to get talking right here on Victory Talk. So good evening, everybody. We see everybody coming in. So we can get to see everybody. The producer got us all hooked up where we are seeing everybody's comments now. So God willing, we won't miss anybody's comments anymore. So we are excited to welcome our girlfriend guest tonight, Tanisha Heath. So she's going to be coming up shortly. And I just want to share a little bit about her. You can go ahead and bring her up, producer. We just want to share a little bit of her background with you. And then she is going to self-introduce shortly. So let me go ahead and share. Tanisha Heath, first of all, she is a woman of God. She is a wife and she is a mother, and she loves and she adores her family. Amen. So she is the she is the president and the founder of Start Power. Start Power is a recruitment firm. She is a native of the East Coast and completed her undergraduate degree at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Tanisha began her professional career working in customer service and in direct care settings. Promotions throughout her career has directed Tanisha to lead teams in administration, the benefits departments, and other global arenas around the world. And some logistic teams. I thought that was really interesting too. Early on, she realized she had a passion for educating consumers on means to maximize their resources. Tanisha's passion is to connect people with the opportunities by creating trusted networks and reaching people nationwide. What started as a simple idea has flourished into her dream of a robust firm, making the career dreams and aspirations of others come to fruition. So I'm just so excited. It's just like a mouthful, and man, I got so many questions I got so many questions I want to ask. But first, I'm gonna allow Tanisha to tell us. Well, you can self-introduce and share whatever you want to share. But we also want you to tell us about Start Power.
Okay. So yes, thank you, Lady J and Minister Key, for having me on Victory Talk this evening. I know this has been some conversations back and forth for a while to get me on, but we finally were able to make it happen. So I'm just so excited to spend my Friday evening with you ladies. But yes, my name is Tanisha. I am the founder and president of Start Power Recruitment Firm. I am a full life cycle recruiter. So essentially, I handle talent acquisition. So I source candidates for businesses in a variety of different industries. So mainly companies that don't have the time or just don't know how to go about finding the candidates because they're need to be more concerned on their business and growing their business. So that's where I step in. I help to be able to source, to screen, vet, and qualify candidates to ultimately find the perfect match for that specific business to meet and match with their existing team that they already have. So that's my role. Try to make it a lot easier for the business owners to relieve those pain points, relieve those stress areas that they have, because really what they should be focusing on is how to grow their team and how to make sure that the culture that they have there is running well. So I just come to make sure that I can find and fill those vacancies that they have with the ideal or best candidate for them.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. That is interesting. And so with that, you started. So how long has your business been up and running? Let's go there.
So officially, we were established this year of 2021. So I've been in business about 6 months now. But the idea of doing a recruitment agency and being in the HR or human resources arena has been something that I've been trying to get into for a few years now, but just trying to find the right entryway in. As you kind of mentioned in my background, I do have experience in benefits and leading teams. So just trying to connect my prior experience into the human resources arena. And then with the pandemic and being at home, kind of just binge watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to, start a recruitment firm, how to be able to um, have an additional something on the side that I could do, and I landed on recruitment, and something that I actually ties so much into my background. I said, why am I not already doing this? Why am I not being able to connect candidates and just individuals in my community and even nationwide to networks to get them to a better level?
So let me ask you this. Well, let me say this first, and then I'll ask my question. Starting a business is not an easy task. We all know that because
Absolutely.
even starting Victory Talk during the midst of a pandemic, that has blown our mind. And believe you me, I know that this was not my vision, but God has taken Victory Talk to a whole nother level. So I know that that it can be a task, but especially in our current state of affairs as it relates to the current economy. So what made you decide that the time was now, and how did you get started? I know you say you did a lot of binge watching, YouTube and things of that nature, but what other things did you do after you decide? What made you first? Let's see what made you to decide to do it now.
So what decided to make me do this now was I had just come to a point where I wanted to expand on my own in recruiting and expand on my own in the talent acquisition field. I feel that in my past experience, I've been pulled into interviews and to help interviewing on other teams. I have experience in the whole benefits arena. So the very beginning of this year, I started a podcast, which who would know that now towards the end of 2021, this is exactly what I'm doing. But in the beginning of the year, I started doing a podcast where I was educating people on benefits. And because I just feel I have so much information on being a global benefits consultant, still working in the benefit arenas now in really large international organizations. And then I just had so much family and friends that would just come to me and ask me questions. I just kind of became the guru or the go-to of, people that are just starting out on jobs, or someone that is changing between different jobs and what do they do. Now I can say I'm very familiar with the aging population. So if you're getting ready to go into Medicare, I have so many tips on that. If you are military insurance, I have tips on that. If you are just going between insurance or you're just starting out, just understanding the basics, because a lot of people don't understand that. But then again, just looking into how I could make more of an impact and do more of an outreach, I decided to open the recruitment agency, where I could be able to build on resume writing and getting you the fundamentals that you could help you land the job. And then I could still assist people with benefits, but helping people get in the door to that job. So I became a certified resume writer over the summertime. So just building on the credentials that I have. So, you know, aside from, all of the hundreds of resumes that I'm scanning through and going through on a daily basis when I'm recruiting for a position, but also having the fundamentals of, what should be in a resume, what you should be looking for, just to make that even easier on my business owners that I'm working with, on those hiring managers. I'm talking to my business owners about compensation packages, how those should be structured, not just base pay isn't everything, but that whole package goes into, retaining and keeping an employee. So being able to have those educated conversations, and then ultimately being able to bring that back to the candidate. um, you know, you and I in your community, if you're going out and interviewing for a job, how can you be set up for success to make sure that you're landing and getting those calls back, getting into the networks that you want to be in to get you into, a higher pay range bracket or position you may think that you don't even fall into or qualify for, but based on your experience, how can we laterally transfer you in there? So using those different resume types that people don't normally use or think that they just have to settle into one box, or I'm only going to be able to go up this ladder. But you really have so much more experience than people give themselves credit for.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a question from Miss Victoria Green. She says, "How do you find candidates, and do you do your own screening?"
So let's see. So yes, I do my own screenings. So I am a growing business. So I do have, well, I'm looking right now to expand. I've gotten to the point where, I need to have an additional assistant or two, assist me with the screenings for the candidates because of the orders that I have coming in. And how do I find candidates? So I do have an internal database, so an internal pipeline of candidates. If you are in the market right now or looking for a job, you can go over to my website, which is startpowerrecruiting.com. Start Power, all one word, one R, recruiting. And you can upload your resume on my job portal, and that way, if we when we do come across a new requisition, you're be the first person that we screen across or we come across when we're looking through all of our candidates. If you do see an existing job that's on my page, that you feel that would be a best fit for you, location wise, what the job title is, you can just go ahead and submit onto that job directly. But we also do take general consideration. That way, when we do have that new posting comes up, you're the first to be considered.
All right, all right. So, Miss Victoria, I pray that that answered your question. And the producer did just—he's typing in the website right now. And you guys know we give that information at the end, but we know that y'all curious now. We know y'all curious now, so we are putting it in the comments right now. So as Key gets prepared to come on in, the is Start Power. The website is Start Power. StartPowerrecruiting.com.
Yes.
All right, Key.
All right, so since we're talking about the website, I just want to jump on in there and say, y'all, wait. Well, I can't say wait to the end of the show to look, because I know as you were reading that off, people are probably already browsing. The website looks amazing. It's phenomenal. I don't know who put your site together, but it is amazing, y'all. It's so user friendly. What you see is what you get. You click on there. So I was excited, navigating through, because as we know, sometimes people make things entirely too complex, and then you just get lost in the process of it. Also being able to just click what you need, go where you need to go easily, and find that, it's just, not to mention those photos, honey. Those photos. Yes. You did that. So y'all make sure that you head on over to the website and check it out. And I know that we all know at least one person who is looking for employment right in this very moment. So send them over to the website to check it out. So before we get too much deeper into your actual business itself, I know there's some viewers out there that probably have questions about starting a business, and they might not really know how to do so. So what would you say, if you could pick one thing, would be the most, or one of the most important things to do before anything else, before you actually hit the ground running?
I would say is do your research. I would definitely do research on whatever industry you want to go into, whatever your specific business is. See who else is out there doing this. Who else is out there doing what your business is doing, and what are they doing? So that way, one, you can take away, how can I make mine different? Is there a void that they're not filling? Well, one, automatically your personality, and even though somebody else may be doing one thing and you come into it, you're going to do it differently because it's you. But just doing your research about, what does the market look like for this business? Is it profitable? Maybe there's nobody in your industry. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, because, is there nobody doing it because it doesn't make any money? Does it not bring any revenue? Or did you find something that you could tap into and be the first person, starting that business? So I definitely would say research and development is so important. Nowadays, we have so much at our fingertips with, Google search engines and YouTube. Like I said, there's so many other inspirations. There's so many other recruiters that also are on YouTube. So for me to be able to, see what somebody else is doing and how they're doing it and how I can tweak mine and make mine different, and ultimately the calls that sit well with me. I'm not doing this just, you know, to be doing something with competing with another agency, but my whole point was that, being able to give back the information that I have, whether that's insurance or benefits or resume writing, tailoring, your LinkedIn profile and making sure certain things are maximized to make you successful. That is my cause, and that's my reason, is to be able to help somebody else. So that would be my takeaway, is just doing a lot of research and development before you just get into it, because it is going to cost money. And, in order to make money, you have to put a little bit in there.
All right. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. We have this wonderful producer, and he has already put the website up for us already. So there you go. So, Tanisha, there can be many challenges that arise while not only starting a business from the ground up, but building a brand, because you are definitely building a brand with this. So, can you tell us what are some of the challenges or bumps in the road that you have run into, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I would say, I have been in business, established now for 6 months. So it is a short amount of time when you think of, a lot of other companies that have been in business for years and years and years. But I will say that knowing, the right ways to grow and expand, now that I've thankfully gotten to a place where I can do that. So just being able to be strategic about things, making sure that I'm making the right decisions business wise. It is a little nerve wracking because, I was kind of groomed to do, 9 to 5. I went to, growing up in school, was told to go to college. You have to go to college to get the good job. Did that, graduated, with honors, got the job, and moving up through, the corporate ladder, so to speak. But now I'm trying to operate and run a business. So even though I'm, skilled at what I'm doing and I'm successful at that, um, I'm not trying to make this just another 9 to 5. I'm trying to make this a business, and you have to think of it as a business mindset. So I would say being able to now grow and scale and think on an operational standpoint in that landscape has been a challenge that I'm overcoming. Like I said, I'm in this 6 months, so every day, so to speak, is a new opportunity to grow. But I am leaning on, having a mentor. I think that's so important. Having cultivating a community where you are among other like-minded individuals, leaning on networking into being able to go to other successful business leaders and see how they were able to grow and scale their businesses, to see how I can take those tips and tricks and apply them to my own. So just being ahead of the game, trying to always be a step ahead, and making sure that your business plan is sound.
Okay. So we do have another question. Is there a cost for your service to the employee or to the employer?
So the cost would be to the employer. There's not a cost for an employee. So if you're searching for a job, it's no cost for you to upload your resume to our database. Now, coming in 2022 in February, we will be having our resume writing workshops, which I will be doing virtually. So you can check on the website there for when those events are. There will be a cost to attend those, and learn how to build your own resume for yourself.
All right, that's good. I'm liking this. It's kind of. I mean, when I think about it, I think about like Indeed or one of them. But it sounds like you have a little bit more of a personal touch to it than Indeed, because I know with like Indeed, it's like all like I guess I want to say
It's
um,
very technical.
yes, very technical. Yes. But it sounds like you take the time with the people, and it's more personal. You help them as they go through the process. And so I like that. And like, I really like the personal touch with anything. I don't like feeling like when I'm doing with something, I don't want to feel like I'm part of an assembly line
Mhm.
or just another number. I don't like that at all. I don't, I like, things that are, up and coming, growing, moving in a positive direction. But I don't like it when things get so humongous and so big that the personal, feeling, that personal aspect is not there. And so I'm excited for you because as you're growing in this, I pray that you don't lose your personal connection with with each and every individual, because I think that's going to help you stand out. That's going to help you be set apart. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we do have another question, and I don't see it, but I do see it. Yes, thank you. Can I see it now? Okay. Miss Victoria says, I may have missed it, but did you come from a human resources background? And I believe so, yes.
So not specifically in human resources. I did work for a leading um, health insurance company where I did a lot of benefits on a global scale, on an international scale. So with there, that was where I also was part of logistics teams and leading those logistics teams. So I have a lot of experience and rooted in that insurance and the benefits world. So that ties into human resources. Like I said, I also in various positions have been pulled into doing interviews and qualifying individuals. So from those skills that I've acquired, that's how I made my transition into becoming a recruiter.
So I'm just gonna before we get too far off, and I don't want to lose it, I had a thought while Lady J was talking about the personal touch. So I just want to point out that I feel like as a person who, is newly reemployed and, decided to kind of step away from what I was doing before, in the job searching process, I feel like that touch that not only that touch that you have, but the fact that you are honing in on the benefits and just, the whole part of the job and not just compensation is huge. I feel like more people nowadays are less, I mean, of course, everybody wants to make money, but I feel like, there's less of a focus on that being a necessity and more on like what else are you bringing to the table. The money is great, but the benefits, the medical, especially, with the day and times that we're in with COVID and all of these things, people want to make sure that themselves and their families are taken care of. So I really like the fact that you are educating your, potential clients on that these are important things to look for when, they're searching for candidates and not just trying to throw a dollar sign, out there to people. Um, and so our next thing that we want to talk about is the multiple hats that we have to wear. We all do it on a day-to-day basis. We juggle a multitude of things at the same time, both in our professional and personal life, which can be overwhelming in itself. So tell us, if you don't mind, well, first off, we're not is are you still working a 9 to 5, or is this everything for you, and how are you managing it all? Like, what has this process been like, transitioning from one thing to another and kind of stepping out on faith?
So, yes, I am still currently working a full time job. Um,
Whoa.
Yes. So I do have a lot going on. I am a mother of a little boy. So that's also a lot. I am married. So I have a lot on my plate right now. But definitely, I would say with any, like you say, side business or side hustle or anything, any business that you would like to create with the idea or the vision that, you want to grow this, be able to step away from your full-time job and do this on your own. I think that's most anybody's goal, that's, having something on the side. They would like to own their time. They don't want to have to, ask somebody else for their paid time off to go on vacation, or ask somebody, to request something like that. So being in control of my time, I think, is the most that drives me towards this position. And then also being able to grow and manage my own team, because I've been in corporate America, and I feel, there's a lot of times and situations where I'm like, I definitely could have handled this situation a lot better um, than the leaders that were in the position at the time. So with that, those are the reasons that I'm doing the business. And then the multiple hats, and then within the business, it's multiple hats. So being able to, outsource your, financing, and being able to, with your, your bookkeeping, and marketing is a whole piece in itself. To be able, I can be as great as I want to be, but if nobody shares anything, and if nobody talks about it, and if nobody knows, then my reach is a little bit small. So making sure that I'm in those right arenas where I have the marketing skills in place, as well as, then just the business development. And then me in recruiting is, finalizing my closing on the candidate. So making sure that those interactions are going well, and that I'm just being a face for the organization, face of the business, both on the business side with my clients, as well as on the candidate side, so that I'm building a trusted relationship on both of those, and building rapport with all of my candidates and with all of my clients. Trying to think of what other things that I'm also doing in the business departments, and then just generation for all of my tools that I'm using, and trying to figure out what is the next leading software that we should be on and we should be using, to make sure that we're maximizing our efforts and we're not wasting time. Um, Networking, it's a lot.
It is absolutely a lot. Wow. And I commend you because, listen, that's a lot of hats, and you're juggling a lot. And even hearing you talking about it, you just sound so smooth, so chilled about it, so confident. Like, I got this.
I mean, recruiting is a lot of work. I'm not going to come on here by no means and say, hey, just watch a couple of videos on YouTube and, you can do what I'm doing. Number one, I think that you have to be very tech savvy in this world that we're in right now. But I'm also here to be that bridge as well with my candidates that aren't as tech savvy, and also some clients that I have that aren't as tech savvy as well. So they're just not, knowing how to find candidates, and, knowing how to make your resume in the best possible way. And then, with the software as a business standpoint, everything is online. So being able to know how to operate those systems is very time consuming. And then just the work that it takes to, cultivate and source. It's a lot of work to be a recruiter, but it's very rewarding, because at the end of the day, I enjoy this. I enjoy sharing what I do. I enjoy being able to, teach someone, if I can make it any better on how you can present yourself. Because, sometimes when I look at people's resumes, and sometimes I came across a person that put, like laundry is a skill, and, well, that's great. That's phenomenal. But, you're coming to get like, a computer
Yes.
software job or data entry. My hiring manager is not that concerned about, the laundry. So just being able to edit those, because a lot of other recruiters would just look you over and not
Right.
even give you the time of day, but to really be able to, share those tricks that you may think is great assets, and they very much are, but tailoring them to what job you're looking for, and you highlighted. Because I have this phrase where, your resume is a product, and you're selling that product. It's yourself.
It's true.
They don't
Yeah.
get to see you. They don't get to see your face, unless you're going for a modeling job. But they don't get to see your face. They just see that one page, I hope, resume and of all these words, and you have to make sure it's selling you amongst the other 500 that they're looking at.
Yeah. So we had another comment before I go to my next question that I have for you. Your concept is amazing, she says. You moved it, so there it is. Your concept is amazing. Is it challenging to market and promote a new business to employers?
Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. It's a challenge to market to as a new employer. I think that's what makes me different because it's all about trying to figure out what you can do to set yourself apart from somebody else. So, if I was another recruiter, that's, been in a large firm that's, been in business 30 or 50 years, then I'm just another firm that's been in business 30 or 50 years. But right now, I have the advantage to say, that, I have that local feel. I can give you full boutique setting. I can give you that white glove service where, we're hand holding you and we're making sure that the exact candidate that you would like and you're looking for, that we're going to come as close to that ideal candidate. Because, we like to say that the ideal candidate doesn't always exist, but we're going to get you as close to that match as we can in finding that perfect match for your organization and the team that you already have there. So I think that's what sets me apart, being a newer agency.
Yeah, I would imagine that that does help. Being a new kid on the block,
Mhm.
it makes people look, it makes them, they're curious. They want to know, hey, so I've been dealing with this company, and I'm not going to call all the other companies, but I've been dealing with this company, and I've kind of gone through all they got. So let me look elsewhere and see, what, like you said, a boutique type of, organization could bring to the table. So I agree. I think that your concept and you being the new kid on the block gives you a upper hand, so to speak. Definitely an advantage. How long is this next Victoria again? She says, how long should your resume be without being too long?
I would like to say one page. One page. Um, and with that, you may say, well, I've, been working for the last 15 to 20 years and, I've had various jobs. Put the last three that you've had. That will keep you in a page, you can add your education on there. You can add, your profile, your skills. But that in itself, all of those things, those sections I've listed, should get you about a page with some correct formatting. Um, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And just to those of our viewers that are out there listening, we did talk with Tanisha sometime back, and I suggested to her I would love to have her to come down to VLF and to do a resume writing session for our people. I don't know what kind of cost that she could associate with it that would give us a little discount. But I hope that she's, working on, maybe the first of the year or maybe the spring of the year, to being able to come down because I think that that would really benefit God's people. Because, a lot of times it's like you said, people don't know.
Right.
I was that 2 or 3 page resume person.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I would love to come and offer, the advice that I have from a certified resume writer, someone that's looking at resumes consistently. So I'm seeing what is out there, the good, the
Yeah.
bad, and the ugly. So I would love to, share, and serve in that capacity. But yes, 3 pages. It's a little long. It's a
Thank
little
God I
long.
don't need that stuff from book, but
we at this point we know you have a lot to offer, but when you're going through about like 100 resumes you have to get through, it really starts to being out what is standing out. And if we don't see that on the first page, you're kind of getting tossed to the side. So how can we condense and find the most valuable pieces of information on those 3 pages and put it in that first page?
Nice.
And I just want to jump in there before we get off of this topic, because I know Lady J, I think, needs to get to her question, but I'm glad that you pointed that out because we have a commenter that said that's interesting. I always thought you had to list each job related to what you were applying for. And I'm glad that they said that because, like you said, a lot of people don't know how to, do their resume, and you also have to be careful about dating yourself, because we know that although this is coming from a place of me having to review resumes and do hiring and interviewing and all that stuff too, and jobs are not supposed to discriminate and they're not supposed to look for certain things, but I think we can all agree on the fact that some of them do. And so if you're listing that you did something in 1939 or something like that on your resume, somebody's going to kind of glance and be like, chuck that one to the side, you know what I mean? So that's very important, knowing what to put in there, what to absolutely leave out of there. And not to be too long-winded. And Miss Victoria says sign her up.
Well, I think it all kind of plays a part, because if you do have somebody that does have that, long, extensive experience, then I can go and say, oh, I'm looking at a tenured person that they have so much experience, and they may beat out somebody that only maybe has 3 years of experience, or they've just graduated from school. So just being able to manipulate your resume, and maybe highlight those skills in your skilled section, or in a summary page, or not page, a summary section, and so that we're not losing that, and us as the recruiter still know, wow, this is a seasoned person that I have. I want the person that has the 10 years plus experience. How can we make that shown? So there's ways to highlight that, but still just list the last 3 jobs, or 3 to 4 jobs on that one page.
So y'all got that free tidbit of information. You're gonna have to sign up for the resume class, but you did get some free jewels, just a little bit. One page, y'all. You heard it here. One page.
And so let's talk about the website. So looking at the website, it looks like you have a lot to offer with a variety of services. Can you walk us through some of the services in detail that are provided? Because we noticed that your resume writing service, which looked very interesting, as you can see, we're talking about it a lot tonight. A lot of people are in need of that type of assistance. So we talked about the resume, writing, portion. What other services?
So have the resume writing services. Those are directly on the website. So there's 3 tiers for those, and they're pretty self-explanatory based on what level or what stage you're at. How would you like that full package set up for you? Also, we have the resume writing workshop, which is a way where you can just learn, if you're open to learning how to create your own resume. And maybe the price point for having our services do the resume is a little bit too high, but you feel you can do this on your own. The workshops that we'll have coming soon in February of 2022, you can definitely sign up for that, and then you can create your resume on your own. So other services that I have is essentially the talent acquisition. So this is where I would be working with business owners to source, screen, qualify, and vet candidates for them based on whichever industry they're in. They can set up a consultation with myself, and we can go over how exactly a partnership, and if it makes sense for your company to partner with our firm.
Nice. All right, now that sounds good. Nobody, oh, Miss Victoria, woohoo! All right, Key.
Okay, so let's talk about. I know we talked about the pandemic a little bit, and we actually did a show a while back on businesses birth in the pandemic. So it's interesting that you kind of fall and fit into that category. So COVID-19 has impacted a lot and caused major delays and setbacks for us all in one way or another. And birthing a business in a pandemic can make it extra hard. Did you have any reservations about the whole COVID thing and the impact that it might have on your business? And I mean, I know this might be just a little bit different from you and learning that you are still working, your traditional job. So you didn't just, quit that and just say, okay, this is what I'm doing, but I don't know, were you nervous at all about trying to start this thing in the midst of a pandemic, or was this more of the opportune time for you to get it off the ground, you think?
I think it was the opportune time for me. A couple reasons why I say that. One, because I was able to give myself that time during the pandemic to do my research and development. I was able to partner with a mentor that was able to help me on the steps of growing and just getting right off of the ground to be successful. And then the industry that I'm in. So I'm in recruiting. So right now, we have what everybody likes to call the Great Resignation. So people are looking to find better jobs. They're looking for a better, work and family balance that they're not getting at their existing jobs. They're looking to be paid more. And then with the new $15 an hour minimum wage by the federal government, inching and inching, getting closer. So companies are having to be in compliance with that. And then a lot of individuals that were forced to leave the workforce are trying to get jobs and returning to the workforce. But the atmosphere has changed. So I think that this was an opportune time for me to be able to use my past experience that I have being working my way through the corporate America, as well as my background in benefits, and then coming into the all of the information that I know now as a recruiter, and then just my interest in helping individuals land jobs and careers that could change their life from what it was before. I think this was the best time to get started, or just to get my feet wet in this, and then be able to just grow and scale into the vision that I see this being, to be able to help other people. So I don't. There's always people going to be looking for a job. So
Okay, and then actually, honestly, with that being said, too, can you like walk us through your recruiting? So when someone goes to your website and they see this position like program management, systems engineering, or financial analyst, that's some of the stuff that's out there, y'all, right now on the site. When they go to look at these job postings and they're interested in something, are you acting as the buffer in between? So, like, are you getting the ball rolling and helping to sort through the peoples and then referring what you feel like are the best qualified candidates over to the employer?
absolutely. So my clients are reaching out to me because, like I mentioned, they just don't have the time to fill the vacancies that they have, and the jobs when they're left unfilled, that's costing them money, because now they can't maybe produce as much as they're producing because they don't have this position filled, or they just don't know what tools to use. So that's where I step in. I come in and I explain to them my hiring design and how we're going to work together if the partnership makes sense for us to step in now. And then I act as the full life cycle recruiter. So we source, we screen, pre-qualify, and then ultimately my client is going to make the offer. Because the difference between myself and a staffing agency, the client holds the employee. So I'm the middleman, as you want to call it. I'm an external recruiter. And then the candidate would be employed if they're offered employment directly through the company.
Awesome, awesome. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because some people probably were curious as to know what is the difference between recruiting and, the employment or staffing agency. So I'm glad you threw that in there.
Yes, no problem. Yep. So staffing agencies, you would be once you're interviewed or you're onboarded, hired through a staffing agency, you work for the staffing agency, and then they can post you in different positions and locations that they have agreements with different clients. And you would be paid by the staffing agency. Whereas I do a little bit different. Like I said, mainly easy title. I'm an external recruiter. So I do all of the same thing an internal recruiter would do that worked for the organization, but you would actually be employed and paid by that company.
Got it.
All right. So we had a couple questions. One is interviews on Zoom versus in person. Interviews on Zoom versus in person. Are they the same in terms of questions and the length?
Yep. Yep. So the Zoom is just an interface. So how exactly are we meeting? Are we meeting on the phone? Are we meeting video conferencing like this? Are we in person? Are you sitting in front of a desk meeting with a hiring manager? So same number of questions, I would say, whatever the average or whatever that hiring manager wants to ask. Um, it's just how you're meeting.
Now, do you find that people are doing way more Zoom or what did you call it? Virtual interviews now, since the pandemic?
I think a component of it, yes. I think now um, Zooms are becoming maybe like a first step screening. But at the end of the day, depending on the nature of the position, like if I have a client that the candidate is still going to have to come into the office or they're still going to have to work on site, at the end of the day, they're going to want to see that candidate in person to see, them face to face. That's normally how it's going. But if I have roles that are remote, or going to be a candidate that can live in another state possibly than where the position is, then those are going to be strictly, the video conferencing. But even still with my in-person placements, the candidates have to show up on site. They are sometimes incorporating a video interview, but not all the time. So
All right. The next question this person had was how much interview prep should a person where'd it go? There it go. How much interview prep should we do? Do you give examples of questions we should ask?
So interview prep, I would say, you have so much at your fingertips, so you can always go online. That would be the easiest thing I would suggest, and look up, what are some interview questions you could be asked. Also, I would say practice with a friend that you have, just to say, oh, can you ask me some questions? Can you look at my resume and ask me questions off my resume? Be very confident and competent about your resume, because you are absolutely going to be, asked about at least something off of your resume. At least if it's a good recruiter, they should have glanced it over. Um, if they're actually calling you and reaching out to you about a position. So you want to be an expert on your resume. And questions to ask. I would always ask a question. Don't leave. I would say, and this is my personal opinion, I wouldn't leave an interview without asking the recruiter or that hiring manager something about the position. Just shows that you're interested. And you always want to do something that you're leaving them feeling some memory of you, because not most times you're not the only person that's being interviewed, unless this is a very highly tiered, highly skilled position, and there's not very many of you out there that have those credentials. So I would always ask a question.
Now, and this is not a question that's out there, but I want to ask this question. So, do you think that it is important to follow up with a thank you email, a thank you call, or what's your recommendations for that?
Yes, I would definitely follow up, and thank the hiring manager or the recruiter for their time, for, what day and time you spoke with them, and say, thank you for considering me for this position. And I hope to hear from you soon. Or if you have any more questions, I would be happy to answer. Something
Uh,
short and sweet, but as long as you're getting your name out there and it just reminds them, that they did interview you.
Okay. Okay. Now, does the company interview the prospective employees, or do you do the interviewing?
So both. So I handle the vetting, the screening, and then we make like a short list, what we like to call, and then we coordinate and then we set up those actual on-site or their Zoom interviews, and I coordinate with my clients' schedules, and then my candidates, and I set all of that up.
Okay, girl, you busy? Yeah, you need help.
That was gonna be. Look, we're gonna roll on right down the road to that. First off, real quick, while we're still on that though, so you're walking them through the whole process. So when you get to the point where you are referring them to the client and they set up their interview, are you involved in that process, or is that where you kind of hand them off and allow them to go from there?
So every client's different. Most times my clients want me to set everything up, which is fine. But or they may have an assistant that I would work coordinate with to get their schedule. But yes, so I'm very much the intermediate that would be setting up, making sure that my candidate arrives, making sure they have reminders that they're there the day of, that they know they're prepped and they're ready to go for this interview, and then making sure that that time works out for the client or for the hiring manager.
Okay, and so in the foreseeable future, because ooh, girl, child, you making me tired just listening to all of
Right.
it. Just when I thought I was busy. Oh my goodness. So do you foresee yourself in the near future having to get some help as far as, designating somebody to a particular area, or just whatever, part-time person, because it sounds like it's taken off and you're not going to be able to, well, I don't want to say you're not going to be able to manage it on your own, because is the goal for you to quit your 9 to 5 and this is going to be your baby like full time, or where are your thoughts as far as that's concerned?
Yes, my ultimate goal is to be running, my firm solely, and that is, what I'm doing. But yes, I'm definitely at a point where I am looking right now to have an assistant or two, just to help me with my daily operations, just to make sure that we're still picking up on new clients and I'm maintaining my client acquisition as well as filling talent acquisition. So, not just once we fill one position, it's like, okay, now everybody's just twiddling their thumbs. No, we should be at the same time still making sure that we're bringing in new business. So my business development team is growing, making sure that I'm getting that off of the ground while I am filling roles.
Wow.
Okay, sounds good. We have a comment. Oh my goodness, she's getting it all in tonight.
I know.
It says it, but these are excellent questions, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it still the norm to wear a black or blue business suit, or is any business attire appropriate? Excellent question.
Yeah.
I would say I would dress for the occasion of the position. So, if you do have a suit, or something to that effect, I would say always dressing up. Always dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. So maybe and you do what you have the means to as well. So that doesn't discount, like, if you don't have a blazer, or if you don't have dress shoes, or a tailored men's suit, do with the best that you have, and putting your best foot forward will show that. If you show up in a sweatshirt, that's not ideal. I've seen it before. I've had that question asked before. Please don't. Um, but again, maybe if you're doing something in the beauty industry, you want to make sure that, you are, made up and you're presenting that professional persona. Um, like I said, depends on the nature. So if we're in construction in a warehouse role, you still want to be putting your best foot forward. Some, like a button up, slacks, something like that with a belt, something that is, ironed and pressed out, not wrinkly, just putting your best foot and your overall appearance forward.
And I love the fact that you threw that in there, because, some people think, especially I feel like in the younger generation, that, if I'm going to apply for a janitorial position or a fast food position, that I could just wear anything because I'm going to be wearing a uniform. And that's just not the case. And so, y'all listen, thrift store. Okay, she mentioned you don't have to be dressed to the nines. You go right down to the Value Village or Second Avenue thrift store, grab you a shirt for $8, nice little button up and some slacks, and make it work. But just make sure whatever it is, like you said, is clean and neat, and make sure you smell good too.
And we VLF Nation, we can go a little bit further than that, okay? If you are in pursuit of a job and you need some help with your attire, we have a clothing closet. Listen, it is our our Sandy Johnson Have a Heart to Help closet. It's full of clothing. It is full of shoes. You can come, make an appointment to meet somebody there. And listen, you won't have to go through the boxes. You're gonna have to go through the boxes for yourself, but certainly we have suits that are down there. We have dress clothes for women. We have dress clothes for men. We have shoes, and so if you are in need, we open that up to you because we want you to be successful. We want you to have what it is something. It may not be perfect, but it could be something to help you put your best foot forward. So I just want to throw that little tidbit in there. That's from Reverend Jackie Lady J.
And while we are on that note, as we are coming to the top of the hour, as our pastor producer likes to say it, as we are coming to the top of the hour, if you are just tuning in, we are sitting with Tanisha Heath, who is the president and founder of Start Power Recruiting Firm. Catch the replay once we're off the air. It'll be, posted shortly. You can rewind back and just listen to all that her firm has to offer you guys. If you are in search of a job, if you know someone that is in search, if they're looking to shift gears, unemployed, whatever it is that they need, she is here for you. Okay, she will walk you through the process and ensure that you are successful in your search. And so last but not least, while we're talking about our Have a Heart to Help ministry, our Sandy Johnson Have a Heart to Help ministry, you guys, we are sponsoring some families for Christmas. So we do not want to get off the air. We want to take each and every opportunity just to let you guys know what we have going on. There is still a few weeks left before Christmas. We have a 3-year-old little boy that is in need. We have both a 4-year-old girl and an 8-year-old little boy. We have a family that has a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. And so we are collecting donations for them for Christmas. If you want to donate toiletries, we are always accepting for the hopeful community. You can give a donation by sending that to our Cash App, which is $VLFM. Make sure that you type in the notes that it is for Sandy Johnson Have a Heart to Help ministry, because we really want to be able to, God blesses us to bless others. So we want to continue to, just help everybody out during this season. And even, beyond the season, once the time is passed, we are always collecting for the hopeful community. So if you have any questions, please reach out to one of us. You can type it in the comments, send us a message on Facebook, text us, however it is, one way or the other, we're going to get it. So tell somebody to join in with us on this mission to support these families during their time of need. And I think that is all for tonight. It's not. Shameless, unshameless plug, mosaics made from beautifully broken pieces. Y'all, it's been a little while since we mentioned this. We still have copies of our book, Lady J and I, along with a few other authors on this collaboration project, Mosaics Made from Beautifully Broken Pieces. Y'all, it's Christmas time, it's holiday time, it's gift giving time. So if you would like to purchase a copy, you can visit our website through www.vlfministries.org. There's a link to our website there. Our Cash App for Victory Talk is $Victory Talk. The books are $25, and you too, and they come the presentation, y'all. I'm telling you, you want to purchase a copy of this book. There is a inspiring story in there to help you, to help a friend. There is something in there for everybody. So don't forget to check that out as well. Now I think that's all we have for this evening. So we want to thank our guests for this evening, Tanisha Heath of Start Power Recruiting Firm. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited about your business and just you venturing out into the field that's very necessary, you know, especially in this day and age. Like you said, there are so many people looking to either, you know, become employed or change jobs, whatever it is that you need, she got it. So thanks for tuning in with us tonight. All the information is posted in the comments on how you can reach Tanisha at her site. And if you have any questions, just reach out to Lady J or myself, and we will certainly get that information over to you. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. And what you got, Lady J?
Before she goes, Tanisha, how can they reach you other than through your website? Is there like an email or, you know, what's your social media handles?
Yes. So my email you can reach out is contact@startpowerrecruiting.com. Also, you can find me and the company on LinkedIn. So that's a big tool there. And if you stay tuned and you check the website for events, for resume writing, we'll touch on your maximizing your LinkedIn profile. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Start Power Recruiting _Start Power Recruiting.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. So thank you for tuning in tonight. It's your girl Key signing off,
Lady J.
and we will see y'all on the next edition of Victory Talk. Same time, same place. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.